Hi, I'm Catherine Connor, and welcome.
Nope.
Nope. Hi, I'm Catherine Connor,
And I'm Natalie Jimenez.
and welcome back to To Be Decisive. I can't make decisions,
And I'm very opinionated.
so join us each week as Natalie forces me into a decision. As you can tell from that,
We butchered that one.
that
That was
disjointed intro, it's
solidly
we'll call it a
wrong.
rough week.
Rough week.
It's a Tuesday, but we're still gonna label this one a rough week.
Yeah.
The world is sad with sickness and
I'm sick.
No, I didn't mean that. I meant the
Well, yeah.
the bad one.
I'm sick.
I meant coronavirus. But because of that, I was talking to Natalie, and I really don't want to deal with anything more than is already being kind of thrown at us this week. So in lieu of making a decision, we're talking The Good Place.
Which is funny because they're actually in hell, but
I mean, spoilers.
I mean, yeah, we'll put that in the title.
So, spoilers for all of The Good Place. It's a delightful show on NBC, or it was on NBC, and we haven't actually sat down and spoken about it, despite the fact that both of us love it deeply.
Love it deeply.
But before we get into that, we are back with another edition of the Culinary Mystery Quiz.
Oh my god. I actually gave Catherine a culinary mystery for Christmas.
I was going to touch on that. Yeah. Natalie gave me a book called Rocky Road, and it's about a girl who goes to the mountains, and she's just on vacation. And then she has to solve a mystery of a guy that goes missing. And I haven't read it yet.
Of course not.
But
it's okay. We don't have time to read, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, we're English majors. We read enough already.
You would think.
Okay, so
you read enough already.
So this we're gonna break these rounds up. Today, our first round, once again, I give Natalie 3 titles of culinary mysteries. It's a delightful genre of books that kind of makes no sense. And it's just mysteries that also have recipes and talk a lot about baking. Usually it's a baker who moonlights as a detective.
Yes.
And they're kind of hilarious and wild.
We stand.
And the titles are delightful. So, Natalie, 3 titles. 2 of them are fake, false.
False.
One of them is real.
Okay.
It is up to you to tell me which is which.
I'm not ready.
Your first title is Apple Pie and Arsenic.
Okay.
Apple Pie and Arsenic. Your second title, Brownies and Betrayal. Brownies and Betrayal is your second title.
Okay.
Your final title, Poached Eggs. Poached Eggs is your final title. So that, once again, that's Apple Pie and Arsenic, Brownies and Betrayal, and Poached Eggs. Which of these is fake?
I think.
And which of these is real? I'm sorry. No, fake.
Oh my god.
2 of them are real, one's fake. Tell me which one's fake.
I think poached eggs is false.
You are correct.
Yes. Oh my god. Look
okay,
for thriving.
For new listeners, Natalie's record on this game, we'll call it not
good.
We'll call it, I was going to say not ideal, not optimal, but yeah, it's not good. It's bad. She's bad at the game.
Well, you know what?
Okay, but let's get into it. The Good Place.
Yes.
Have you watched all of it?
No, kind of in a weird okay, so I really wanted to just start watching because it when it had come out. So I was watching on one of those bootleg websites, and it told me I was watching it in order, but I totally wasn't, because it was hopping back and forth, and from one episode to another, things would just be, I'd be like, wait, that already happened in the last episode. When you watch a show and they're just oh yeah, when Catherine and I went to the ball, and you're just oh, you and Catherine went to a ball, cool. And then the next episode would come and we'd be at the ball, and I'd be like, wait a minute, that already happened. And I was just oh, so that kept happening as I was watching it. I think I watched everything very much out of order, therefore I do not know what the hell was going on.
Okay, so it is on Hulu and also Netflix.
Well, it wasn't when I was trying to watch it.
I
was trying to watch Hulu it as it was coming out.
It was on Hulu literally as it was coming out.
Look, sis, I watched it wrong on a bootleg website. The end of the story.
But I'm really curious. So when did you get into it?
Wait.
So while she thinks of that, just to kind of fill everybody in, if you haven't watched The Good Place,
it's amazing.
It is amazing. It's an afterlife comedy from NBC with Kristen Bell, Ted Danson, Jamila Jamil, Manny Jacinto, and William Jackson Harper. And it's very good, and it's about 3 people in the afterlife, or not 3, 4 people in the afterlife, and kind of how they navigate it and what that situation is. And it's a lot of really good jokes about morality, and it talks about deeper topics in a really light way that I really like.
Yeah.
So when did you start watching?
I think I started watching after the first season.
Okay, so you've been with it for a few years now.
Yeah, I think I started watching after the first season because I remember having to wait, and then okay, so what happened is I watched the first season like right after it came out, and it popped up on like whatever it popped up on, and then I didn't like. What season are we on now?
I don't know.
Is this 3?
No, it's more than that. I want to say it's 4 or 5.
Yeah, I think this is season 4. But I didn't watch, like, when I started watching, the next 2 seasons had already been out, I think.
Okay, I'm a recent convert, we'll call it. I started watching in November, and it was kind of one of those things where I was like, I'm eating dinner, I need a break from homework, I'll put something on, and I needed to watch something that wasn't serious. And I was like, oh, I'll put on a comedy. And this was kind of one I'd been meaning to watch.
Yeah.
And it was quick. It pulled me in quick. It was a real productivity issue.
Doesn't it go by so fast?
It was a real productivity issue.
Oh, yeah. I feel that one.
It really got to me.
I think, I watched season 1, and then I didn't start watching again until after season 3 had popped up. So I watched them after each other because I remember the beginning of season 2 getting really irritated by like what they were doing, and it was like annoying. Like I didn't like how many times I had to watch them reboot. I was just like, ugh, the next time I have to hear this speech. So I remember being frustrated.
Yeah, it
was so good.
Yeah, it's so good. It makes you feel a lot of things. It's very much like, okay, so Natalie's gonna hate this comparison, but it does kind of remind me of Emma in a way. Stick with me. Okay, Jane Austen's Emma.
Boring.
Natalie hated the book with everything in her.
Because it sucked.
Natalie hated it with everything in her. But the thing about Emma is if there's someone that's talking forever and ever, that she won't just say they were talking forever and ever and ever. She'll have them talk forever and ever and ever, so that you feel as irritated as Emma does throughout. And I feel like The Good Place is very good about doing that. So every time they're irritated, you're irritated. When they're angry, you're angry, and they just transmit emotions very well, I think.
It was infuriating. I can't. I just can't. I do not just think it reminds me of Emma at all.
Okay, well, Natalie also doesn't see the similarity between Alice in Wonderland and Peter Pan, but we're not going to get into that.
I do, chapter-wise. They're kind of like weird things happen every chapter. They don't connect sometimes.
All right. Well,
look, okay. The point is, Emma sucks. The Good Place is great. What were we going to say?
I was just mostly talking about how you ever lose all thoughts in your brain at once?
Was this the next season is the last season? No,
this past season is the last one. Yeah. So that's my issue now. Is like I don't have a good comedy to just turn to anymore. I don't know what to watch. Because like I've watched The Office, I've watched Parks and Rec, I've watched 30 Rock, I've watched I
haven't watched any of those.
I mean, okay, so 30 Rock I watched in high school, then it was Parks and Rec, then The Office. And it's been a while since I've watched a good comedy that I got wrapped up in the way I did with The Good Place, and I don't know what to do now. It feels like there's a hole in my life, not to be dramatic.
I'm screaming. I've definitely just been rewatching The Good Place. Like
so
it just plays in the background, and I'm like, cool.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing, but I filled my life with stand-up specials for a while. I got deeply, I mean, I still am, if I'm being honest, deeply into John Mulaney. Natalie knows this. I love him with my whole heart.
I do, and I have not been able to get through one of his jokes.
You're wrong, but okay.
I didn't say he was bad. I'm saying that I have not been able to listen to him.
I know, and I'm saying you're wrong.
Holds my interest.
He's really great. But yeah, what are you, other than The Good Place, what's your comedy go-to?
I think I've been watching just stand up too, because I don't have time to like watch new TV. I haven't seen any of those old ones, but I also have no interest in them. Like I started watching The Office, and the first season I know people say isn't the best.
Yeah, it's rough.
But Like, I can't skip things, so I cannot skip the first season like people keep telling me to, and I just don't find it funny. And I feel like Parks and Rec is the same format, same dryish comedy, and I don't want to watch it. I don't like. I think I've been getting more into other genres than comedy. Like, unless it's stand up, even in stand up, like they post videos that are like 10 minutes long, and sometimes I'm like, no, it's too long, and I'll look for like a 6 minute one. I'm like,
The
okay.
internet age.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I do find it really interesting because kind of as you were talking about what I had watched and what you struggled with, it's like NBC has kind of ruled the comedy game for years now, right?
I like Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Okay.
That's a really
Brooklyn
good one.
Nine-Nine's a good one. But yeah, NBC's kind of ruled the comedy game for years, right?
Mhm.
I mean, obviously SNL is kind of their flagship. A lot of
Mhm.
the Tonight Show, like, yeah, there are a lot of late night hosts, but for a long time that was the show, was
Yeah.
the Tonight Show. Whether or not you still think it is another story.
Mhm.
But then they've had 30 Rock, The Office, Parks and Rec, and now The Good Place is kind of all these great comedy shows. And yet they started, I want to say in 2017, they started a comedy streaming service called CISO.
Really?
And
I didn't know that.
It failed.
Okay.
And they're doing another streaming service now. I think they're calling it Peacock. But
maybe they should stop.
Well, that's what I'm interested in. Is like, because that one, I'm wondering, did it fail because it was too targeted? Did it fail because they had their properties licensed elsewhere? Like, what differentiates that from like a Disney Plus?
I'm gonna die. Disney Plus is good.
Okay, but why?
Because Disney is good.
Because it plays on the nostalgia. You think it works? Like, everyone wants to watch their old shows.
I think whenever I end up on Disney Plus, it's like nostalgia is a huge part of it. I think it's less because I'm like, it's great. Like, I watched The Lion King and I didn't think it was that awesome.
It's just baffling to me.
I think it would be great if I had watched it when I was young. I'd be like, all the nostalgia.
Wait,
like, but I didn't like. I don't know.
Let's take this back a minute. What's the last original Disney property you watched? So I mean, like, the last Disney movie that wasn't a sequel that you watched recently. So, like, was it Frozen? Was it Tangled? Princess and the Frog?
I think it was. I don't think it was Frozen. I've watched more after that, but I've seen like basically everything recent Disney's or Pixar or Disney has come out with.
Okay, but like, pick the last one you're really attached to.
I think.
What's the most recent movie you're really attached to?
I think maybe Tangled. Maybe Tangled.
Okay.
Tangled.
I
like Tangled, yeah.
Would you say you like The Lion King as much as you like Tangled?
No.
See, that's so wild to me.
Absolutely
The
not.
Lion
I would
King's
rewatch
amazing.
Tangled. And like, I don't know if I'd rewatch The Lion King.
Are you
I might
serious?
zoom to that song that he sings with
Which
the
one?
Animals.
Can't Wait to Be King?
No, the song where he grows
Circle
up.
of Life?
No, I don't like that song.
Oh, Hakuna Matata?
Yeah. I would watch
just
that.
Listing every song on the soundtrack.
Because I really liked what was happening on screen when that song was happening. I literally fell asleep during The Lion King, bro. Like,
that's so crazy.
I think the reason The Lion King is such a huge cultural phenomenon, or everyone cares so much, is because it's so nostalgic for them. I didn't watch Lion King,
right? But I also
out.
think for something to be nostalgic, the first part of it had to have been seen as good at the time, right? So, like, I don't think we're nostalgic for things that are bad just because we were children. Like, there were adults when The Lion King Lion King came out that were wild about The Lion King.
I don't know.
Whereas, like, I don't know, Hannah Montana only connects to our generation because we're the only ones that watch it when it was on. Like, the adults aren't going to connect to that because it's not like, I'm not, dunking on it, but it's not exactly Emmy-winning television.
I sure think so.
Okay,
I'm kidding.
But, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think there's something to be said about quality creating nostalgia. I think there's an issue with how we carry that nostalgia out later in terms of sequels and that kind of thing.
Yeah, there's so many Lion King sequels. I'm definitely not watching them.
Oh, not just Lion King sequels, but I mean more in terms of, like, my initial thought was Ghostbusters, right? So you had Ghostbusters, which people liked. And then you had, I think, 2 and 3, and then they rebooted it 2 years ago, I want to say. And now that didn't do great. That was an all-female cast, which was, I guess, cool in concept, but made a lot of people mad.
Yeah.
And now they're doing it again with the kid from Stranger Things.
Oh.
But in a different, like, version of it. But it's somehow connected to all that. But people are, less enthusiastic for those sequels, I think. than they would be for like a Disney sequel.
I wanted to watch the live Lion King first.
The what?
The live action. I said that very wrong. The live action Lion King.
Oh,
first.
okay. The it's so weird to me that's live action, and I get why we say that, but it's also it's still animated.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think I would just have rather watched like some real animals.
Okay, well,
I don't know if that's why I don't like Lion King. I don't think that's why, because I really liked Brandy and Mr. Whiskers on Disney Channel. Like I've watched those episodes.
Brandy and Mr. Whiskers.
Girl, it's it, okay?
what is Brandy and Mr.
Brandy and
Whiskers?
Mr. Whiskers is a great show. We're not gonna crap on it. I loved it. And the song is just like the best. I'm currently looking it up.
No, don't pull up the song because I don't think we can actually play it. But I'm Googling the cartoon now.
Look, you don't recognize them?
I can't see from here. I'm just looking it up on
my
phone.
Brandy and Mr. Whiskers, it was a dog and a rabbit. And they got dropped in the jungle, and the rabbit was stinky, and he was a delinquent because he has a jail outfit on. And she was like a princess, and she was like princess where she came from, but somehow they ended up on the same plane, and they both fell into the jungle with everybody else. And it was great, and it was animated, and it was animals, and it's not like it was a musical or anything. If anything, I should have liked it less because there wasn't like songs besides the theme, which is it. I should make it my ringtone.
Oh, if we're talking about cartoon songs, nobody beats Phineas and Ferb.
Oh, for sure. Phineas and Ferb was
I mean, like, I still remember...
What's that song? She was like, 'cause you're busted.
Yeah. But I still remember what the thing on the tip of the shoelace is called because of their songs. Our whole generation knows it's called an aglet.
Yep. And I have those songs on my phone. Like, they pop up when I have my phone on shuffle. And I'm just there like, no, what's that one song? He's like, I ain't got no rhythm. And meanwhile, like, clearly you have rhythm, sorry. I don't know. Lion King just, like... I think I had to watch it when I was younger or when it was first, like everybody was. It might also be maybe that it was just so hyped up to me. Like I didn't expect much from it because I never had that expectation. I didn't go into Lion King thinking like this is going to be amazing, which is what I think everybody kind of wanted me to think or like built it up to be. And then I just was like, I just expected little and I got little, I felt.
No, I feel like that's the other way around. If you go into something with low expectations, you're always pleasantly surprised. But if you go in with high expectations, there's potential for disappointment.
Yeah, no, I went in with low expectations and I left with those expectations met. Like I was just like,
that's so sad.
Like whatever.
Your life is.
I was also super confused. I recorded the beginning of my reaction to Lion King, and when I tell you a girl was confused, I thought that Mufasa was the bad guy. Like I was convinced.
How?
I don't know. It sounded like a bad guy name to me.
The movie, Natalie.
I know, but there was still a bad guy, except it was
named
just
Scar.
Okay, but I didn't know that. Okay, I was confused. I was like, wait, I thought Mufasa was bad, and then he wasn't. And I was like, what's going on? And Scar was mad sus. So shady. And no one did anything.
Okay, you know that The Lion King is just Hamlet with lions, right?
I don't like Hamlet either.
Okay, but I'm just saying
look.
It's the plot of Hamlet, but with lions and music.
Okay, well, it wasn't good.
You're wrong.
I didn't really like it.
But okay.
I might try to watch it again because everybody keeps telling me that I'm wrong. I just didn't feel that.
Did you see just going back to recent Disney, did you see Frozen 2?
No, but I am dying to. See, that's something I'm excited about. I know it's not going to be as good as Frozen, but I also didn't think Frozen was that amazing. I know it's also like really, really hyped, and that's why it's still not a part of the official Disney Princess franchise. But
is it not?
It's not because Frozen's making a lot of money on its own. So that if they connect it to the Disney Princess franchise, they'll make less money than they are with just Frozen.
That's really interesting to me.
Yeah.
Disney's marketing stuff is fascinating.
I know.
It's crazy.
I would work for Disney. I'd study something that I didn't love just to work for Disney, a company I love.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
So before we wrap up, we've talked about good media. I want to touch on bad media for a second because there's these podcasts I've been listening to. There's two. One is called The Worst Idea of All Time, and the other is called Till Death Do Us Blart. And it's The Worst Idea of All Time. It's two guys from New Zealand that decided to watch the same bad movie once a week, every week for a year.
The same movie?
The same bad movie. So they watched Grown Ups 2 once a week, every week for a year.
I like Grown Ups 2.
Oh, God. And then they watched, moving past that, they watched Sex and the City 2 once a week, every week for a year.
Never seen that one.
They watched one called We Are Your Friends that I think has Zac Efron in it. I don't really know. I haven't listened to that season yet.
I like Zac Efron.
But recently I'm so excited. They just did one called the like little acronym for it is MWWC, which is My Week with Cats. And they watched the 2019 film Cats.
No.
Once a day, every day for a week.
No, never.
But it's amazing because you're just listening to these two grown men kind of slowly lose their minds and happiness.
Oh my God.
It's really funny. And to that vein, Till Death Do Us Blart is these two guys and four comedians from the podcast My Brother and Me. And what they do is it's the guys My Brother and Me also want to get in on this action, but not quite as much as once a week. So they'll watch Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 once a year.
No.
It's just once a year.
Jeez, no.
And they put out the podcast every American Thanksgiving. And can I tell you, I've listened to not all these. I listened to that one I just mentioned. Don't
they get repetitive?
Well, no. So, sort of. The Worst Idea of All Time, I haven't listened to all the way through yet. I'm kind of still working through that one. But it's to entertain themselves. They come up with like the dumbest ways to watch it, and they add these crazy theories that like this character is a ghost because it's so bad. They have to
play the drinking game.
They have to come up with they have to come up with ways to entertain themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really delightful. And so I just told you about all those. I've listened to at least one episode of each movie. And can I tell you, I have not seen a single movie that they're talking about, and it's still one of the most delightful hours of.
You've never seen Grown Ups 2?
No.
Why? It's good.
I don't think it is.
It is. I like it.
Well, I think we disagree about taste media.
It's fun.
Well, I disagree, but
they go to the water park. It's fun.
Okay. Well,
you're missing out, man.
Natalie and I continue to disagree. What a shock.
I don't know.
But thank you for listening to today's episode of To Be Decisive. I'm Catherine Connor.
And I'm Natalie Jimenez.
And we'll join us next week, Tuesday at 1, as Natalie actually forces me into a decision. Thank you for giving me a week off from decisions, Natalie.
You're welcome, because I couldn't come up with any ideas of what to make you make a decision on.
Wow. Behind the scenes.
Whoop, whoop. La di da la la. What's a la 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 la? I don't know the Hakuna Matata.